So I'm a car dealer that sells cars for $5,000 and under. And this is the deal of the year that Alex has gotten at the auction. And today, throughout this video, I'm gonna show you what I'm buying. This is a Toyota Corolla 2005. What I'm paying for it, so you know that I'm not just making up numbers, and what I'm trying to make off of it. 1,100 bucks for a car that we can sell for 2,500 bucks. All right, and check this out. This is the dilemma that we're still working through here at my car lot. I am almost out of cars. Now, we've been able to buy quite a few in the last week or so. I think Alex bought 15 cars. Alex, my mechanic, goes to auction, buys a lot of cars, but this is still the dilemma that we're working through right now. It's right after tax time. There are a lot of dealers out there that are in a very similar scenario as me, maybe not to the same extent as me, because most dealers are not selling cars for $5,000 and under. And that's what these tax checks, that's what these refunds actually hit. We load up every year before tax season hits, and this is usually what happens. Now this year we have a new scenario that's coming into effect. We got tariffs, we got price increases coming from a lot of these manufacturers, coming from a lot of these dealerships. A lot of these dealerships are less negotiable right now because they know that price increases are on the way. What does that mean? That means that cars are going to be harder to sell for a lot of these dealerships. They're going to be less negotiable, and in a lot of cases, there's a lot of fear that's in the market. Recession, the word recession, has been thrown around in the market a lot. What is that going to cause consumers to do? Well, hold on to their money for longer. And if they do that, well, then fewer new cars are going to be purchased. That means that fewer trade-ins are going to hit the auctions. That means there's going to be less supply for me to buy at these auctions. And right now is the worst possible time for that to be happening, for prices to go up, for fewer vehicles to be into the system, because right now I need cars. All these cars that we have coming in, these are all in recon right now. We got Andrew that's pulling this car in right now. He's doing drive cycles. We have to get them inspected. We have to get them cleaned up. If there's any minor fixes that have to occur, like we're doing that here, if there's any major fixes, we send a lot of that stuff out. We still have to get a lot of these cars out in a quick amount of time, just because we don't have any cars sitting out there. But that's what that's what we're working on back here. We don't have enough cars still. We bought, 10, 15 cars last week, but really what we need to be able to sustain my average of 70 to 90 cars that I like to have throughout the year, we have to be buying 20, 25 cars almost every single week. And right now, locally, there's only really 3 auctions. There's a couple more that we can go to that maybe are an hour and a half away, where we can add a lot more inventory, but there's also a lot of time that goes into that. And a lot of times when we go to these auctions, it's a big time gamble, because we could go and I could spend an hour and a half getting there, an hour and a half going back. That's 3 hours of travel time. We're going to spend another 2-3 hours at the auction. I mean, that's a whole day that we have to go through. And at these auctions, with prices being so volatile right now and prices being up from a lot of these car dealers going through the same thing that I just went through, well, you have a situation where you could go to these auctions and the prices are just too high, so you can't buy anything. And that's a whole day shot and 0 cars. All right, this is a Toyota Corolla 2005. Actually, I forgot what I paid for it. Let's see here. Oh, and I'll just show you so you know that I'm not just making up numbers. There you go. Can you see it? 1,500 bucks is what I paid for this Corolla right here. So this is going to be 2,500 if we have to put anything into it. $3,000 car on our lot. I love Toyotas. Toyota Corollas, Toyota Camrys, 4-cylinders. If I could only buy one car at one manufacturer for the rest of my life, and that's the only car that I would have on my lot, I think Toyota, you can't go wrong, especially in the year models that I have to buy. I think they're the best cars ever made. I'll say this, and I'll say it over and over again. A 2002 to 2006 Toyota Camry 4-cylinder. 4-cylinders were better than the 6-cylinders. Best car that has ever been made. I mean, you never had to do anything to those cars. If you did have to do anything to them, the motors were wide open. You could get to every part in the front of that car. Easy to fix. I learned a lot of what I know about cars on Toyota Camrys. Being able to fix and be able to see things, and they've always made their cars very simple, easy to work on, reliable, 4-cylinder, 2002, 2006 Toyota Camry, best thing that you can buy. All right, and this is a 2014 Ford Fusion. It's got 158,000 miles. We paid $2,400 for it. This one probably $3,500. Hopefully we won't have to do anything to it. If we have to fix anything in it, it's gonna get to that $4,000 range. That's the range I don't really want to be in with a car like this. It gets a little bit more difficult. It gets a lot more difficult to sell something like this for $4,000. It feels like that line in the sand is kind of like $3,500, our sweet spot of what can move fast, give somebody a really good deal, and still make good money is stuff that we can buy between $2,000 and $2,500, rolled out for $3,500. It used to be that my sweet spot was $2,500, and that's the range where we could just rip cars out and just go, and just sell through them all day long. And that range obviously is going up. As car prices have gone up, our ranges have to go up, our sweet spot has to go up. Now it's $3,500, but it hasn't been that long ago that it was $2,500. I would guess probably 2019, it was $2,500, and most of our cars sitting on our lot were $1,500 to $3,500, and $3,500 was the expensive line. You know, right now I say like $5,000 cars, very difficult for us to sell right now. It used to be $3,500 to $4,000 cars. Those were difficult to sell, but we could rip through the $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 cars all day long. Now all that shifted up. Now it feels like if a car runs and drives and is halfway decent, and $3,500, it's a steal. But that used to be the upper end of our range. It's crazy how things change. Let's be honest, these days we're all looking for ways to save money wherever we can. And car insurance, that's one of those expenses that can eat away at your budget if you're not careful. And that's why I want to thank today's sponsor, Insurify. Insurify is a free online platform that lets you compare real quotes from top insurance carriers in just a few clicks. You answer a few quick questions, no phone calls, no long forms, and within minutes you'll see side-by-side rates from companies competing for your business. It's fast, easy to use, and can help you save big. You could save up to 50%, all while keeping the same or even better coverage. Click the link below to compare quotes and potentially cut your insurance bill in half. It's basically free money and only takes a couple minutes to check. Rates and availability may vary. See full terms at insurify.com. So again, I want to thank Insurify for sponsoring this video. Go check them out and make sure you're getting the lowest rates possible. All right, so this one right here is a 2011 Honda Odyssey, and it's very, very rare for us to be able to buy something that's this new. It's a 2011. Now, I mean, I know a lot of you are going to turn your nose up and say, that's a 14-year-old car. That's not. This is newer for my price range, especially in a Honda, especially in a Toyota, because they will keep their values a lot better than a Ford, than like a Dodge Caravan. Like this is usually out of the league of what we can actually purchase for, but it's here. We were able to buy it. We paid $3,000 for this. Now after our fees, I think the fee was like $350 on it. We're gonna have to fix probably something small, hopefully around the $100, $150 range. We're gonna have to get it cleaned up, inspected, stuff like this. So at the end of the day, we'll probably have somewhere around $3,500 in this car. And this one's probably going to be at the top of our range. It's going to be around that $5,000 range. So we hope to make about $1,500. But if people come in and we just don't get any leads on it, whatever the fears are around, it might be tougher for us to sell a $5,000 car right now than it is for us to sell a $3,500 car. So maybe we'll make $1,500, but probably it's going to come down to where we sell it for $4,500. We make maybe $1,000 on it. And the reason why I'm pointing out all of this stuff, all of these numbers on this particular car, is that a lot of people will tell me and say, okay, well, why don't you niche up a little bit so you have a lot more availability of cars, so you can, you'll sell a little bit more expensive car, but you'll be able to have more of a range, right? And I can buy more cars at our auction. That's why I wanted to point this out, because this, when we price this at $5,000, this is going to be, even though it's a 2011 Honda that you really can't find anywhere for that price point, this is going to be one of the most difficult things for us to move at our lot. Maybe not at another lot that's hooked up, that does financing, that does buy here, pay here stuff. They can sell the stuff very quickly that they're selling to a customer on payments, but I don't do that. I don't do any financing at my lot. I don't offer any financing. Yes, customers can go get their own financing, but that's just another hurdle that someone has to jump to be able to get into one of my more expensive cars, say more expensive, but it's a $5,000 car. And if a customer has to go and get their own financing, a lot of times they go to the bank, whatever, they're not going to be able to be approved even on a $5,000 car. But if they go to another dealership where this car is not $5,000, it's $6,500, and they can put $1,000 down, and then the dealership just finance it for them, because it doesn't really matter at a lot of those dealerships what their credit is. All that matters is they have the down payment and they show that they have a job and they can make the payments. They can go get it there. But for my dealership and where I'm at, this car is going to move a lot slower than something like this Ford Taurus right here. It's kind of the paint's kind of messed up on it, but it's a good point A to point B car. This Ford Taurus is probably gonna be a $2,000, $2,500 car on my lot, but this Honda Odyssey, $5,000, is going to move a lot slower because it's much more difficult for a consumer that's in my price range bracket to be able to come up with $5,000. They can come up with $2,500. They can come up with $3,000. But it feels like that line in the sand that we find as a more difficult car for us to sell is like $4,000 is about the line. So that $4,000 of the $5,000 stuff, it sits a lot longer. Even if it's a good deal, it still sits longer because most consumers are payment buyers. And the ones that we get are ones that could actually save up a little bit of money to be able to buy a car, but we still have to be at the bottom end of that range to be able to move stuff quickly. And here's that Ford Taurus. We paid $1,100 for it. It's a 2004 and it's got 180,000 miles. This is the stuff I would much rather have. I would much rather have this Ford Taurus than this Odyssey right here, because this thing, be able to sell it for $2,500 after everything's said and done. Move it on. Somebody's got a car for $2,500 that runs and drives and is inspected and can get their kids to school and get groceries, whatever. $2,500. I would rather have every car on my lot be exactly this versus even having a good deal of a newer Honda Odyssey. This is what I would rather have. Ford Taurus, one of my favorite cars to buy and sell, because as a used car dealer, I'm able to buy them so cheap that I'm able to sell them so cheap, and they've done well for me for a long. I've built my business on Ford Tauruses, on Ford Explorers, on like older Toyota Camrys when they used to be cheap. They're not cheap anymore, but they used to be able to buy like 2001 Toyota Camrys, 4-cylinders for like $700-800 all day long at auctions and sell them for $1,500, $2,000 and just rip through them. Can't do that anymore, but you can still find certain models, at least we can, that are still relatively cheap. $1,100 for a car that we can sell for $2,500. And in a lot of cases, I just talked about this Honda, in a lot of cases, we're making just about the same amount of money on a car that I bought for $1,000 or $1,500 as a car that I paid $3,500 to $4,000 on. I mean, we roughly net and gross about the same amount of profit on those cars. So it makes much more sense for us to try to target those cheaper cars because we can sell them so much faster, and we make the same amount of money almost. And the thing about it is, it's less risk for us. The fewer amount of dollars we have to put in the car, then the less outlay that we have of capital. We don't have any kind of capital problems or anything like that, and we don't finance, we don't floor plan or anything like that. So that's not really a problem. It's just the amount of space that we have here is limited. Now, right now, it doesn't matter, obviously, because we have no cars pretty much for sale. But there's just a lot of benefit for us, and especially for our consumer, too, because there's nowhere else you can go and find a $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 car, be able to pay cash for it, and then you're done with it, no fees or anything like that. So there's just so much more benefit to us as a dealer and to our consumer for us to target those cheaper cars as opposed to buying the stuff that we have to sell for like $5,000 to even make a profit on it. There's more of those cars available. We can go out and buy a lot more cars that we could sell for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. There's more of those available. But at the end of the day, that's not the kind of dealer I want to be, and that's not the kind of like customer base that I want to be dealing with either, because then you add in the element of all this financing that you have to do, because people that are buying $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 cars, they're not paying for cash for those. They're financing. I mean, most people right now, they don't have $500 in their savings account for an emergency. So they definitely don't have $5,000 sitting in their bank account for a car purchase. So I actually make about $1,200 per car. Now that's my gross number, and I get a lot of comments. There's been many videos I put out telling people exactly what I make on my cars. All these numbers that you're hearing when you're hearing what I sell, what I buy these cars for, and then what I'm expecting to sell them, well, that's all gross profit. That's not all money that I can actually put right back into my pocket. And here's the thing, it costs money to actually run a business. And I get a lot of blowbacks. They're like, well, you buy a car for $2,000 and you're going to sell it for $3,000. And so you're going to make 50% on the car. That's ripping people off. Well, it's not really the case. After you take out all my employee costs, the rent, power bill, advertising, all this stuff, we've actually worked out the numbers to see that we make like $430 to $450 per car when you're backing out all our expenses. See, my burn rate, every day that I go in and turn on the lights at my shop, it costs me $2,000 a day. Well, Brandon, that's an expensive power bill. That's just a way of saying what our burn rate is. And every single day that we're open, it costs us about $2,000 to run. So if you do the math, if I'm not selling over 2 cars a day, then on that day, I'm not making money. Now, obviously, we do a lot of volume with the price points that we're in, so we're doing okay. We make money still. Now it gets more difficult as you see problems like this where we don't have any cars. So if we don't have any cars, we can't sell 2 cars a day because, I mean, right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we got 7 cars for sale on our lot. I know a lot of you check our website every now and then. Go look at it right now. There's going to be less than 10 cars, depending on whenever you're looking at this. It's hard. It's very hard for us to find cars to sell right now. And my burn rate, my light bill, my lease that I have on the building, my payroll costs, they don't go down because the market's gotten more difficult for us to buy cars. All of that expense continues to stay where it's at. So I hope we killed it, right? I mean, we killed it during tax time. I hope so. We got to put that money back, because over the next month, 2 months, might be very difficult for us to make that burn rate that we're actually running right now. And this is the deal of the year that Alex has gotten at the auction so far. This is a 2005 Mazda Tribute, same thing as a Ford Escape. He paid $500 for this thing at auction. Even now, with prices being elevated, with dealers that are they're trying their best to find cars that they can reload their inventory with, just like you saw up there. Into tax time, we sold a bunch of cars, and a lot of other dealers are in the same boat. Maybe not as badly as we are, because I'm surprised we were even able to buy cars over the last week. But even with that, stuff can still fall through the cracks, and this is one of them. We only paid $500 for this car. That means that after everything's said and done, as long as we don't have to fix much on it, we're going to be able to sell this car for $2,000. A running car for $2,000. 2005 Mazda Tribute. Deals are still out there to be had, but we got to go to all these auctions. We got to sift through all the cars. We got to watch all the cars go through, and if one does fall through the cracks, then either Alex or myself needs to be there to catch it. And I know, I understand, I see it in the comments. Eventually, I won't be able to be yelling into the screen the camera, your screen, my camera, that I'm the car dealer that sells stuff for $5,000 and under. Yeah, that's probably going to change. Hopefully not soon. I'm hoping that the prices continue to stay at least stable as they are right now, to a little bit down. But we have a lot of uncertainty in the market, and it might be that we have another wrench that's just thrown into this whole market with tariffs, with price increases, and maybe that makes all the used car prices go up, or maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We're going to find out. Make sure you're subscribed to keep up with all the price points and what's going on in the market, both on the new and the used car side. But I'm going to try to give you exactly what's going on in the market. And I'm showing you right here what the prices that we're paying for our cars. Check this out right here. See all this terrible, terrible, terrible paint all in this Dodge Caravan. I love this. This is one of my favorite things, and I've trained Alex, my mechanic who buys a lot of cars for me at auction. We look for this because this is a van it's a 2008, and we only paid $1,000 for this van. That means I'm going to be able to sell this van to someone for $2,000, $2,500, somewhere around there. It does not look pretty. It's not supposed to. Here's the thing about it though. This paint on this hood does not affect how the car drives whatsoever. I know, okay, here's the flip side. Paint's not good. It's got a little ding, dent here or there that wasn't fixed. That means maybe the person who had it before didn't take care of the car. Valid point. But this paint right here shows me that it was just parked out in the sun. Cheap paint that was that was made by Dodge, and it just stripped away because it just always sat in the sun, not garage kept, anything like that. I'm not looking for grandma's garage kept 50,000 mile car that was only driven to church and the grocery store. No, other dealers can buy those cars. They can pay way too much for them. It's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to buy cars that are point A to point B cars, and this car right here is going to be perfect for a family that needs third row seat, and they're going to be able to buy it for $2,000, $2,500, somewhere around that, and the paint is not going to matter to that family. And I know there's a lot of car dealers, they'll look at this, they'll just turn their nose up at it. Why would I have this junk sitting on my car lot? It looks junky. It is junky because the paint's bad. I see a whole different, I see a gold mine here. I see a good deal for a customer. I see something where I can actually make money on it and give a consumer a great deal on a car because they just need a point A to point B kind of car. If I can do that, help them out, make money doing it, that's what I want to do. And I've actually heard it a lot from you guys over this tax season. Why don't you just have more cars? You didn't have enough cars, right? I can promise you everything that we were able to find in our price range that we thought was good enough to actually sell to our consumers, that we thought was good enough that even if we put a little work into it, that we could still make some money. We bought all of those cars and we still ended up short. It wasn't a constraint on capital or anything like that. We were able to buy everything that we were actually wanting to buy. So it wasn't a thing of where, okay, we left some money on the table because we didn't buy enough cars. Everything at these auctions before tax time, and even when tax money hit, and even right now, if it's at the auction, if it's a halfway decent car, and if it's something that we can sell for under $5,000 and we can buy and we feel like we can make some money, we're buying it. So just to show you in our area and what I'm hearing from a lot of other car dealers, it's very, very difficult for us to find cars in that price range that are quality cars. Quality cars are very rare. And think about the niche that I'm in. Got to sell cars for $5,000 and under. Quality is already an issue even at the top end of cars. People who have good quality cars, they're not trading them in right now. They're not trading them in for a new car that they're going to pay $750 a month for the monthly payment on. They're not doing that right now. So think about how much more difficult it is on the lower end of things, where a car that's worth only like $2,000, the customer, they're not trading that. Even if they're buying a new car, like that car that's so cheap, they're not trading it in. They're going to end up selling it themselves, because when you go and trade in your car, I mean, the dealerships, they're going to offer you nothing for a car like that because of where those prices are. So this is not happening. So it's very, very difficult for us in this environment, in the niche that we're in, for the price point that we're in, for us to be able to buy cars for my dealership. And that's the struggle that we're in right now, and that's the worry that I have for us going forward too, because if it's difficult right now, well, you add tariffs, you add price increases, you add less negotiable franchise dealers right now because of all the uncertainty in the market. That's what's happening right now. So what's that going to do to sales on the new car level? Well, it's going to push them down. So when you have sales that are pushed down on the new car side of things, well, they don't get trade-ins. We already have a lack of trade-ins because they're struggling right now. And then on top of that, we also have a lack of quality trade-ins because people are less likely to want to upgrade right now. And then you throw in the fear of possibly a recession, whether that's true or not. The fear is out there. You see it all in the media. The R word's being thrown out everywhere. When that happens, people hold on to their money longer. They're not buying new cars. They're not trading in their old good cars. So they're not getting to me. This is a big time problem for my dealership, for my business. It's hitting my bottom line.